Alright, what is up YouTube? M40 here. We have a large array of actual deck profiles to still cover from regionals this past weekend. The first one I'm going to be looking at is a Frog deck list that made 8th place at its regional. And I actually think that this is probably one of the coolest decks that I've seen in terms of general innovation at this current point in time. Because I'm going to be honest with you guys, there's not a lot you can really do. Just kind of with what we've been given. So anyway, we have triple copies of Dupe Frog, 2 copies of Yield Ronin Totem, of course. We have triple copies of Swap Frog. That's it. That's your monster lineup. All right. Now I know some of these builds do play spells, but not this bad boy. So we have 1 Breakthrough Skill, triple Goes in Match, 2 copies of Heavy Storm Duster, 1 Imperial Order, triple copies of Infinite Impermanence, triple copies of Lost Window, 1 copy of Mind Drain. This is actually a pretty interesting tech choice for this deck overall. Activate this card by paying 1,000 life points. The effects of all monsters in the hand cannot be activated. Hey, you guys know about that little thing called Danger? Well, this is just kind of a win con against them if you kind of open this going first. You have to actually hard draw this, go first and do your thing. It's kind of what this deck is trying to do is win that die roll, push itself into existence, and literally just go. And of course we have 2 copies of Paleozoic Candina. I don't think that this card is still good because it gets the ability to blink something face down, but in the era where link monsters can't actually be forced down, we're kind of in a weird position now to where this isn't as good as it once was. Obviously, blinking something before it links out might be the better choice, but in the long run, I mean, how much resource management are you going to, put towards this? Of course, we have triple copies of Dynamiscus, still one of the best ones. Discarding a card to blink something from the field. Yep, that's what we want in life. Triple copies of Morella. I mean, yeah, still Morella. Like, dropping one from the deck isn't terrible. We have triple copies of Paleozoic Olenoides, of course, the back row, or MST, of the deck. We have 1 Solemn Judgment, 2 Strike, 1 Warning, and triple copies of Trap Trick to round up the main trap lineup. Like I said, it's at your disposal if you're playing this deck and you want to play spells, but it's almost kind of a waste at this point to kind of want to force spells into this deck. The extra deck, we have triple copies of Miss Starboy, 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn, 1 copy of Cerberus, 1 Borrelsword Dragon, 1 Borrelode Dragon, triple copies of Totally Awesome, 1 copy of Sky Cavalry Centauria, 1 copy of Obamenia, 1 copy of Anomaloculus, 1 copy of Grumble Lugos, and 1 copy of Mega Fleet. Side deck here, we have 2 copies of Gamma Seal, 2 copies of Dark Bribe, triple copies of Evenly Matched, 2 copies of Forbidden Apocrypha. Being able to declare an extra deck type, that if 2 or more of the declared type are on the field, you can make each player some monsters of that type of the grave. And this only applies for Fusion, Synchro, and Xyz, so I don't think you're going to get cheeky declaring Link. Now, of course, we have 1 copy of Heavy Storm Duster, 2 copies of Light Imprisoning Mirror, 2 copies of Mind Crush, and another copy of Mind Drain. Overall, you're probably looking at this and you're like, oh man, how did this get by? I'll be honest with you, it was a European regional, it was a little bit smaller, but I don't want to take anything away from this deck, because overall, the core structure of this might lighten up somebody else's day, and we might actually potentially see some more Paleozoic kind of show up. When you win dice rolls all day, you're bound to do something with the deck, right? That's how this works. So, alright, moving on along. We actually have a top Pendulum deck. Now, this deck isn't as cute and cheeky as we want it to be. This is the more meta satanic build kind of going out here right now. Your whole deck's purpose in life, you just want to make Kali King Yuga and go. Of course, Kali King Yuga is going to blank negate everything on the field. Nothing's going to be able to do its thing. But here's the downside to this card. 1, Dangers all activate in the hand. You bypass this. You're able to do what you want. Okay, we got that. Number 2, remember, this has to be activated in the main phase. So your opponent does maintain the first action of the main phase. So if your target is just chilling over there in a corner and you're about to watch it, you just get kaiju'd, you're just like, ugh. Also, Denko Seka against this deck is really fucking cute. If you're playing Ed's attack deck, you'll literally just normal summon Denko, and your opponent's like, oh, I guess I can't quick up Magic You. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Also, this deck does double down with Azathoth, but overall, I mean, this deck does have its problems. It is a very, very cute deck for the potential that it actually does. So, moving along into the deck, we have 2 copies of Curtain Riser. This is going to be your extender starting things off in the deck. We have 1 copy of Black Fang Magician, triple copies of Chronograph, the other extender in the world. We have 1 copy of Destrudo, triple copies of Wisdom or Harmonizing Magician, getting the special summon off of this via Pendulum summon for extenders. Oh, so beautiful. We have 1 Basilisk, 1 copy of Jackal King, triple copies of Master Cerberus, 1 Oath Dragon, 1 Purple Poison, triple copies of Darkworm, and 2 Gate Zeros. Being able to make the Absolute and then bring out our homie, this is supposed to be the other Odd Eyes for all intents and purposes for the ranking up. But just kind of understand, for all intents and purposes, as you, oh no, never mind, it's Raging Dragon we bring out. So you bring out Raging off of Absolute, and then you go ahead and level up into our boy Kali King Yugioh. Because remember, he had supposed to summon any Odd Eyes monster. Take your pick. Literally. Such an interesting day. And then we have 1 Ancient Cloak, 1 copy of Silent Boots, 1 Time Gazer Magician, triple Wisdom Eye, 1 copy of Zinganke, 1 copy of Dragon Pit, 2 copies of Allure of Darkness, 1 Dragon Ravine, 2 copies of Dragon Shrine, 1 Duelist Alliance, 1 Foolish Barrel, triple Pendulum Call. We have 1 Phantom Knight Rank Up Magic, and 1 Shade Brigadine. Extra deck, we have 1 Underclock Taker, 1 Rusty Tin Can himself, 1 Unicorn, 1 Electromite, 1 Decode, 1 Boral Sword, 1 copy of Time Thief Redoer. Thanks, guys. Gave us the most generically broken card we ever needed. Supreme King Dark Rebellion, Odd Eyes Raging Dragon, Absolute, Duo King Kali Yugioh, 1 copy of Dweller, 1 copy of Meteor Burst, Boral Load Savage Dragon, and Vortex Dragon. Side deck, triple Denko Rekka, 2 copies of the Dark Kaiju, triple Sphere Mode, 1 Azathoth, 2 copies of Red Reboot, triple Droll and Lockbird, and the 3rd copy of Red Reboot. Interesting day. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Now, we have more of a generic build of Thunder for you guys today. Anyway, we just have a super generic Thunder list, kind of showcasing that the deck can still do something at the regional level, and you don't have to be locked in to playing the danger. And you have decision trees that you can make in the community, and that is a good thing. So this is basic Thunder edition. If you don't want to play danger cards, I mean, you still got to play impermanences, but that's just kind of how life goes in the moment. So we have 2 copies of Aloof Lupine, triple copies of Ash of Blossom, triple copies of Battery Man Solar, 2 copies of Collapse Serpent, 1 copy of Lavenir, triple copies of Thunder Dragon, triple copies of Dragon Dark, 1 copy of Dragon Duo himself, triple copies of the Hawk, triple copies of Dragon Matrix, triple copies of Dragon Roar, and 2 copies of Wyvern Buster. Pretty standard lineup for the monsters. Nothing particularly too spicy sticking out to me. The 1 Lavenir is fine, honestly. And then the 2-2 split and the Baby Dragons is kind of what you want. Also, I know a few people are talking about wanting to play triple Aloof over, 3 Battery Man, but we're going for 3 and 2 here for ratios. And then we have triple Lure Darkness. We have 1 Gold Sarcophagus, 2 Instant Fusions, 2 copies of Thunder Dragon Fusion, and triple copies of Infinite Impermanence. And then in the extra deck on here, we have 1 Underclock Taker, 1 Summon Sorceress, 1 Summoner, 1 Reprodicus, 1 Link Karibo, 1 copy of Unicorn, 1 Phoenix, 1 Borreload, 2 copies of Titan, triple copies of Colossus, 1,000 Eyes Restrict, 1 Kaminari Tech. Side deck, we have 2 Denko Sekka, 2 copies of Droll and Lockbird, 2 copies of Gamma Seal, 2 copies of Sphere Mode, 1 copy of Super Poly, 2 Twin Twister, 2 EEV, and 2 copies of Evenly Matched. I do want to say, I'm going to continue to take regional decks for everybody for the rest of this format. I do want to say thank you to those of you that actually sent these in to me on the MCool40 Facebook page. I am trying to remember who specifically. I believe one of these was from the European event. I'm trying to remember who it was. I had a couple of lists from 2 teammates that were actually very, very, very kind enough to send in their deck list, and I'm really happy that people want me to share this information with the community, and I really do hope that you guys will take these events seriously. I seem to be the only Yugi tuber that still covers deck lists from events. I still think this is an integral part of the game, and people need to be willing to talk about it. Even if I'm going through a list, I only mention 1 to 2 things about the list that defines it from other formats and the rest of the format. Like, it's still important knowledge to see where variance comes into play and make decisions based on those skill trees. You know what I mean? So thank you guys for taking time out of your day. I will be more thorough with the information in the future for having names prepared, but I do want to thank everybody. So, all right, guys, without further ado, thank you. We're going to continue to do these as long as I have information. All right, guys, I'm out. Peace. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a Truffle Shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out Vanquil40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.